What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about awesome things to do in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Now, I realize I say this quite a bit, but honestly, it's true. Halifax is one of those Canadian cities where Americans like myself, we recognize the name. We've heard the name before, but that is where our knowledge ends. We have no idea where it is or what it looks like or what's going on in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yet we've heard the name because it's famous, it's popular, it's a big city in Canada, so at least I can say that much. So I want to remedy that today and learn about some of the awesome, amazing things in Halifax, starting with where on earth it is. So I have a map pulled up here. And honestly, something that sticks out to me that I'm a little embarrassed to admit, frankly, is I did not realize how south Nova Scotia is. It kind of blows my mind. Even though I know the map of the United States, I am not very aware, even still, where geographically Canada begins and ends. And Nova Scotia, it's as south as Maine. It's as south as Vermont. I had no idea. I could travel out to Maine, stand there right on the edge of Maine and squint my eyes and see some Nova Scotians. I could be like, hey out there. I learned about you in a YouTube video once. And they would be like, all right, well, can you stop staring at us? Or and I could be like, oh, okay, sorry about that. That would be the interaction. But I could do that if I wanted. I didn't know that. So Nova Scotia, if we zoom in right here, we have Halifax, which is honestly located, not shockingly, on water, like so many amazing, beautiful Canadian cities are. That is a recurring theme, that they exist by the water, which always makes it a lot more beautiful, to be honest. And it's all the way, man, this is like almost as far away as you can get from mainland Canada. Even though Nova Scotia, I know, is technically not an island. I'd be curious to learn about like what the culture, is it kind of different there than the rest of Canada? I've learned about how different, of course, Quebec is, and even Newfoundland. I've learned about the Newfoundlanders. They're a bit different. Nova Scotia, it's kind of off on its own. Is it a bit different there? I don't know. But I have a picture here as well of Halifax. Beautiful. By the water. I don't know. Just looks like a really nice city. I like the incorporation of nature and trees, but this is a bit zoomed out. And I'm excited to, after learning a bit more here, watch a little video that's going to explain in detail some awesome things in the city. So real quick, Halifax is the capital and largest municipality. What on earth is a municipality? I tell you. Of the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. One of Canada's fastest growing municipalities. Wow. Oh, I have a chart here as well. Yes. So how big is Halifax out of all Canadian cities? I have a little list here. We go down and all the way past Vancouver and Winnipeg and Ottawa. Number 13 is Halifax, Nova Scotia. And it is a regional municipality. No idea what any of this means, honestly. I thought it was just a city. Regional municipality is a type of Canadian municipal government similar to a county? Okay. But I think it's a city as well. It's kind of both. I'm not going to dive into the semantics of what a regional municipality versus a city is. All I know is I'm going to learn about some of the best, most awesome things in Halifax, and that's all I need right now. So let's take a look.
This time we're staying at the Westin Nova Scotian, a historic railway hotel that's right down on the waterfront. The waterfront is actually pretty much the best place to
see. That's what I'm talking about. That you can stay in this this kind of historical old hotel in Halifax. Look out your window, and this is what you see. Like, yeah, it kind of speaks for itself. It's pretty cool.
To stay, because it's where you'll find most of the top attractions.
Oh, we got boats, ferries.
Another cool thing about Halifax is that it served as a port of entry for over 1 million immigrants between 1928 and 1971.
Wow. Port of entry. Man, this a little familiar to me. I know that the eastern side of Canada, therefore Nova Scotia and Halifax, which is about as east or southeast as you can get, is like geographically, advantageous to receiving lots of immigrants from all over the world that are entering through that area. So that's pretty cool, honestly.
To start things off, we're at the Canadian Museum of Immigration at Pier 21, which is literally right behind our hotel.
Canadian Museum of Immigration. Wow, this is so funny to me as an American, because it's like, I don't know if America has a museum of immigration. It's funny because America was like, at this point, founded by, like back in the day, founded by lots of immigrants that first came here. But America now is like, honestly, probably not. It's not known for being, immigrant friendly or anything like that, or particularly easy to immigrate to America. So this is honestly nice to see from in Canada.
Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I really like this museum. As an immigrant, I find it super interesting to learn about the different paths that thousands and millions of immigrants have taken in order to come to Canada.
Well, that's so cool how so many immigrants have literally gone through Nova Scotia, but is it Halifax specifically? That's pretty amazing.
But also it's very moving to learn about the different feelings of fear, hope, uncertainty, and opportunity that represents coming to a new country and Canada in specific. So whether you're a first-generation immigrant or not, I find that this is a great place to learn about the history of immigration, which is a big part of what Canada is today.
Yeah, I mean, that's so awesome. Like, again, particularly from my American point of view, where it's like, I know diversity and cultural diversity and immigration is a big part of Canadian culture, and it's something that makes Canada really special, is its huge diversity, and I certainly can't say the same for the United States. Like, for one thing, it doesn't really promote immigration very much, or especially from what I understand, it doesn't facilitate immigration very much. That is for sure. So certainly something we should be more proud of in the United States and want more of and facilitate more. But so again, it's nice to see the Canadian viewpoint on this.
Even though I'm not an immigrant to Canada, my grandmother actually was. She came over here from Ireland, I believe in the 1930s. But we also read here that more than 500,000 Irish immigrants came here in the 19th century because of the famine over there. So it's easy to see why there's so many Irish people in Canada.
Yeah.
If you have followed along our journeys, you may know or not know that I'm originally from Mexico. And since I immigrated to Canada, I arrived in Calgary, which is...
Oh, there's a little thing. Oh, this is fun. It's a little map where you can put a sticker on. Oh, wow, where you live.
More or less around here.
Nice. Immigration Museum. That's pretty cool. That's like... I'm glad they're featuring this. It seems like a very, very important part of Halifax history.
Another cool thing here is you might be able to trace your family roots through the museum's collection of immigration records. They say that about 1 in every 5 Canadians is related to someone who passed through Pier 21.
What? Pier 21, that's what it's called. 1 in 5 Canadians is related to somebody who went through here. That is unbelievable, actually.
My grandmother, she didn't actually pass through Pier 21. She went, I think, to Quebec City, but they still had records on file, and they were able to help me trace some of the routes right back to Ireland.
That's so cool. Wow. Okay, now we're getting a little bit of the city here, and yeah, it's pretty beautiful. And again, it's like a cheat code, how it has the water. Just makes everything a little more cool. The water.
Right now we're on the boardwalk, basically at the start of the waterfront near the hotel. This is a great place to start for a number of reasons, but one of which is basically why the city of Halifax exists today. The Halifax Harbor is one of the deepest and largest natural harbors in the world, but it was also a strategic point for the British military. Now, of course, you'll find a lot of restaurants.
Oh, okay, interesting. Part of Halifax history is being some kind of British station where it was like militarily advantageous to create this place.
Bars and shops, as well as a lot of really cool artwork along the way.
Okay. I mean, I noticed, I can't help but notice the bent light poles, which I am pretty sure is on purpose because it is abstract art. Very nice.
I remember last time when we were here, we rented bikes, so we were biking along the waterfront instead of walking.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, it seems so obvious, but it's actually like, especially as an American, like it's nice to see that you can like rent bikes and stuff, whereas in American culture, you know, everyone has a car. Everyone drives everywhere. It's a driving culture. So it's even nice to see the bikes you can rent.
Right across from the I Love Bikes, you'll actually find Alexander Keith's. So this is a really cool brewery tour that we did the last time we were here. It's actually from...
I was like, Alexander Keith's. Do I need to... Is this someone I should know? Is this some kind of Canadian general? Some kind of Canadian astronaut I should know of? They made beer, which is, you know, important as well.
From 1820, it's one of the oldest breweries in North America.
Wow, 1820? I didn't know there were 200-year-old breweries. Dang.
It was founded by the then mayor of Halifax, Alexander Keith.
Alexander Keith was a big deal, actually. He was the mayor. It's not even a joke. Okay. And he liked beer. A true Canadian.
But what's really cool about this brewery tour, even though the production no longer happens there, is they take you through a tour with people dressed in period costumes from that time. And they really give you a good explanation of how it was brewed, the history of the place, that you get to try some of the beer, and you even get to listen to live music.
This is cool. This is actually super cool, especially if you're into beer and you get kind of an immersive beer experience. This just seems like such a fun city with lots of places to eat outside, and the whole pier boardwalk also by the water is fantastic. And these ferries, I guess? Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh wait, is this that little island? When we were looking out of the hotel, I noticed that there was a little Nova Scotian island out there, and I was actually wondering if you can visit it, or what's there.
This is our first time in Georges Island, which is only a 5 to 10 minute boat ride from the cable wharf at the waterfront. And this is one of the 5 National Historic Sites that are known collectively as the Halifax Defense Complex, as they are the best examples of fortifications built by the British and Canadian military.
Oh, wow. This is a British and Canadian military, like, base? Like, it actually has giant brick walls and tunnels. Wow, this is fascinating.
Of fortifications built by the British and Canadian military over a 200-year period.
Yeah.
Not only is this place popular for historical reasons, but you also get amazing views of the harbor and of actually the whole city of Halifax.
Yeah. It actually seems like, for the most part, wherever you are in Halifax, you actually have a pretty amazing view of everything, but it is cool seeing the city from this perspective on this little island.
And Dartmouth. And we've noticed a lot of people come over here for picnics. I wish we had some food.
Oh, you can have a picnic. You can have a picnic as well on the old 200-year-old Canadian war base. Why not?
Food, but right behind us is even a big birthday party.
Yeah. I like the ferries. Like, you don't see ferries too much in the United States. Not much opportunity for the ferries. So that's actually really cool.
Another cool museum you should see while you're walking along the boardwalk is the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, which is the oldest and largest maritime museum in Canada. It's a really cool place. We were in there the last time.
Maritime Museum. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Seems to obviously have something to do with water and boats.
We were here, and it's a great way to learn about boat building, about the World War convoys, the Halifax explosion. There's even a cool exhibit on the Titanic.
Oh, wow. I know there's the Maritime Provinces, which are basically all the provinces that are in eastern Canada, I believe, that are surrounded by bodies of water and whatnot. And so they all must have a pretty rich culture of boating and maritime activities. And that's what this museum is for. Got it.
And basically just a really good way to learn about the people of Nova Scotia and their relationship with the sea. But another thing we really loved when we were there is we actually got to learn how to send our name in Morse code.
Oh, okay. Fun.
There you go.
Perfect SOS.
Wow, this is nice too.
Last but not least, you should definitely walk into downtown Halifax and check out the Halifax Citadel and the Halifax Public Gardens, both of which are pretty much right beside each other. The Halifax Citadel is also a National Historic Site.
Seems like there's a lot of national historic sites, like protected historical sites around Nova Scotia and Canada for that matter, which is really cool.
And it's pretty much the star attraction here in the city. It's equally as important as the harbor.
Wait. You can shoot a ye old rifle? Oh, now you got my attention. My little American attention. A gun! Oh!
As important as the harbor for the reason why Halifax is what it is today. With cannons facing out towards the harbor, the Halifax Citadel star-shaped architecture is very impressive from the inside and out. Not only do you get some good...
I did not realize how, much history Halifax had. A lot of historical significance as a military outpost and as an immigration center, an immigration hub. Very interesting history.
Good views, but it's a great place to learn about some Canadian history. And thanks to its costume interpreters, it makes learning about history fun. There's even some activities you can watch or take part in, such as watching them fire the cannon.
Oh, yeah.
Or taking part in one of the many different activities, one of which is called Ready, Aim, Fire, where you can actually shoot a gun from way back in the day.
Oh, now we're talking.
Right now, we're actually in the Halifax Public Gardens, which were created in 1867 in celebration of Canada's Confederation, and are...
Wow, gardens that were created almost 200 years ago. Very nice. Looks like a cool public service as well, where people can just go hang out if you're not having a picnic on that little island.
Are often considered one of the finest Victorian gardens in all of North America.
Wow.
You'll find many pathways to explore, as well as water fountains, 14 different species of trees, vibrant flowers, and a variety of statues.
Nice.
But it's just a great place to where locals like to explore, and just a really peaceful way to end your visit here in Halifax.
It kind of sums up Halifax for me. Just nice. It's just nice.
Well, it's really too bad that our day was so rushed. It's really definitely too short of a visit to come here for one day, but we hope either way that we gave you some ideas for your next trip to Halifax and to learn more about other things to do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I actually learned a ton about Halifax sort of historical significance I didn't really expect to learn. Anyway, this video was by Must Do Canada, and I am going to give it a like, because that was very good. Very good suggestions for stuff to do. And honestly, the city kind of stands on its own just because of its history and its water and the ferries and the views and even the park at the end. It seems to have a lot of museums and protected historical sites you can visit, and the whole immigration museum and that whole story. And if you're Canadian, you get to go to that museum and maybe figure out a relative of yours that went through the pier here to immigrate to Canada. That is awesome. There are a lot of things I learned here today that to do and learn about Halifax that I really, really enjoyed, honestly. So if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.